Welcome to C Programming Tutorials. This is a production of YouTube channel Learnorama and the Facebook page Awesome C Programming Tutorials in High Def. I would recommend that you subscribe to the channel Learnorama so that you can be notified of any new tutorial that is posted by me, and become a fan of Facebook page Awesome C Programming Tutorials in High Def. In today's tutorial we are going to learn about array of pointers. Okay. We have don't confuse it with pointer to an array. We have already learned about it. What is a pointer to an array? There is one single pointer, it points to an array of integers, for example. Okay, but now we are talking about the pointer array itself, array of pointers. So just like array of integers, there are multiple, each element is an integer and there are multiple of those. Here array of pointers will have each element is a pointer, and there are multiple of those. So let's see if I can draw some pictures here to explain what I mean. So we have seen before something like this. Okay, we have an array of whatever type. Okay, say x. Okay, and suppose it is an integer type, so you have declared it int x of, I don't know, 100. Okay, so there are 100 such elements here, and this is our x array. Okay, and then you have declared a pointer px. Okay, so how do we visualize pointer? A square with a dot in the middle and an arrow coming out. Okay, this is our pointer. Now you make this px equal to x, and what it will do is it will take the address of x, which is the name itself, the name of an array. Remember, name of an array represents the address of the location, memory location where it's starting. Okay, it takes that address and puts it into the pointer px, and that makes px start pointing to that array, and this is the pointer to an array. And we are not talking about this thing here. What we are talking about is, just like this array has each individual elements as integers, we are talking about an array of pointers. And how would it look like? It will have, just like any array, it will have multiple elements. Okay, but each element is a pointer. Okay, to whatever type it is that we are trying to declare it for. Okay, and how do you declare something like this? You declare it like this: int pointer px array. Okay, just like any other array, px is now an array, and these square brackets represent that. And you put in here whatever the value, whatever the number of elements you want it to have. Okay, like 10. So there are 10 pointers starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on to 9. And this is what we are talking about. And now, since each one of them is a pointer, they all have arrows coming out, and they can point to any location in memory that will be treated as an integer. So if I have an integer x, I can say px is equal to px of 0. Remember, px is an array, so you have to specify which element you are talking about. So px of 0 is equal to address of x. Okay, if you do that, then x represents somewhere in the memory an integer, and px of 0, which is this element here, will then be pointing to x. So if you write something like this: contents pointed to by px of 0, the contents pointed to by px of 0, wherever px is pointing to here, make it equal to 10. So you put 10 in here, in this memory location, which is the same as the one represented by x right here. Okay, so if in the next statement, if you do a printf, %d for an integer, and then you say x, print the value of x. What are you going to see on the screen? 10. Even though you never change the value of x to, you never say explicitly x is equal to 10, but you did say that wherever x, px of 0 is pointing to, you change its value to 10, and this will basically give you 10. Change the value of x to 10, and when you try to print the value of x, you get 10 because of that. Okay, so this is how array of pointers are going to look like. It could have been any type. Each pointer could be any type, but it will look just like this. Even if it is a character pointer, array of character pointers, it will look like this, because all the pointers look the same regardless of where they are pointing to. They all look the same, a square, an arrow coming out of it, and they take the address, and as soon as an address is assigned to it, it automatically starts pointing to that memory location. What you could do is you could dynamically allocate it. px1 is equal to, let's say px1 is equal to malloc size of int. Okay, what it's going to do, it will allocate enough memory which is the same, which is the size of an integer. So it will allocate enough memory to store an integer, and the address will be stored back into px1. So this will start pointing right here. Okay, and then later on you could actually free px of 1. Don't forget to free when you are done with using px of 1 here. Okay, so you could do lots of things with each of these pointers. So let's try to see something more, a little bit more practical. Okay, let's try to, let's say let's talk about strings. Okay, what are strings? Strings are basically actually array of characters, right? So let's say there is a name 1 equal to Joe. Okay, this is a perfect statement. It creates a string called name, okay, and stores Joe in it. Okay, so it's remember, this is an array of characters. A string is an array of characters. How many bytes would that be? How many bytes would that be? 3 bytes? No, 4 bytes. Why? Because see, we have never specified what the size is. This initialization value will determine what the size is. You don't have to always initialize. You could say 100 and then store this Joe in it. This is perfectly okay also. But if you don't specify, it will be the exact size, not one greater, not one less than whatever the initialization value is. Joe has 3 bytes, 3 characters in it. But remember, for strings we need an end of string character also. So strings are always one more than whatever the number of bytes are used in, number of characters used in that string. So this will result in a 4-byte allocation, 4-byte array of characters, name 1 of Joe. Okay, and then you could say name 2 of Frank, and then you could say name 3 I don't know, Caddy. Okay, and so on. So let me stop here, and we will continue with this tutorial in the next video. Thank you so much.